Good morning, evening, and afternoon, and welcome to part 79 of Aokana, no彼方のフォーリズム. Last time we had quite an enjoyable episode. I really enjoyed it in regards to the subtleness and the messaging, as well as just the way we could see the character progression of Mashiro. So to start off with, last time we had they started with a conversation between Mashiro and Asuka at the beach. It was interesting to see how they get along and how they were talking about certain things. Like, it just first started off with Asuka saying that how she likes the sky, she likes flying circus, there's so many things she likes. She loves everybody as well. And we also then get a little bit into Mashiro also saying that she does also like the sky. But the way she worded it and the way she was speaking itself, I should say, was, to my opinion, referring to Masaya. Because I think in a sense, I can't remember what it was exactly in terms of what led to it, but it did seem to be that Mashiro was hinting towards Masaya equaling the sky in her views. So what I got from that was Mashiro saying that she liked Masaya, but quite subtle in the way she was referring to it. Then after their conversation, she was going to possibly confirm this by saying that what I meant to say in regards to liking the sky was, then she got cut off by Asuka, because we get into the next part of the episode, was where they were apparently getting looked at by two random guys. It seemed like those guys were walking towards them, and Asuka assumes that they are going to flirt on them, I guess you could say. Sorry for the random pause. Then we get into that little thing where both Mashiro and Asuka panic. Mashiro trying to figure out what she can do to help Asuka, or how they can fix this whole situation. But then after a while, they just turn around and walk away, or run. I can't remember what it was, but they left. Asuka, I'm not too sure what's happening, but Mashiro does spot Masaya behind them, or above them. Not too sure where exactly, but anyway. Mashiro has then noticed that it was Masaya that had saved them from that predicament. As Masaya thinking to himself that they need to be a bit more careful when they're alone, or something along those lines, he receives a message on his phone from Mashiro. And this message, at first glance, was funny, was a bit weird, not sure what she was trying to say to him. But I just had pushed it to the side, didn't really think too much about it. But then, when I got to this point where we are now, where Mashiro was saying in English, I was trying something a little bold. I thought to myself, okay, there's got to be something she had said then, because that message on the surface wasn't really being bold about anything. And then we got to the point where in English it was quite easy to see, where she said from the top, obviously thanks to the person messages reminding me, started off with the subject senpai, and in English it was think again, you perv, if I recall. Actually, you know what? I'm right here. Might as well. Yeah, I think it's here. Yeah. So here she says in English, think again, perv. And then after the going down, I think that was really nice. Like that you helped us, you should let me think. So at first I thought, okay, that was an interesting message. Then when I went back to see it, I saw a senpai. And then, oh, well, at first I didn't see this, but I saw, I like you. Or, I think like you. Is what I first saw. But obviously, going back to it, knowing that the top part was there, and senpai as well, it refers to senpai, think I like you. Something like that. And that was quite interesting. But then, obviously, well, let me go back to that part in the Japanese, but I really liked the Japanese as well. Because at first, it was so confusing. I had no idea how all of this worked. I went all the way at the back here, the front, all over the place, but yeah. When you add the top parts, it makes so much more sense in Japanese as well. Senpai, su, ki kamo. Suki is love and kamo is think, or I think in a sense. So with the English, changing that to English, it says I think I like you. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this.
あれ？ちょっと勇気出してみちゃいました。
I really enjoyed this little side parts, long intro unfortunately, but I really enjoyed it. But let's see, I wonder if we're going to get anything new today in regards to their, how can I say this? Their development, I guess you could say. But one thing I got to mention before we carry on is I'm not too sure how Masaya views this all this. You obviously didn't see the subtle hinting in the message, and we haven't seen him really refer to Mashiro in any romantic way. So it's hard to say how Masaya views Mashiro. So I'm just hoping that we don't get a sudden romantic feeling towards Mashiro with no real development for Masaya, you know? Anyway, let's see how this will progress. But with how Mashiro is acting, you can really see that she finally acknowledges it.
誰に？
Dare ni is towards who or towards whom, in a sense. Sorry, Miss Elliot?
ちょっと勇気出してみちゃいました。
Okay, I was just trying to give a bit more courage in a sense. Oh well. I didn't know we were ending it right there, but anyway.
美咲先輩、本日もご指導よろしくお願いします。
She seems to be in high spirits.
お、
Shocked Misaki.
どうされました？いや、いつもとちょっとなんか顔つきが違うというか、吹っ切れたというか。そうですか？あいつのこと諦めた？何の話ですか？いや、違うな。この感じはむしろやぶされちゃった？
Wow. Yeah, so I know the English wording for this, and I don't like the English phrasing for this. In Japanese, yabureru is to break. The Japanese yabu sarechatta. So say that again.
やぶされちゃった？
So I think that's yabu. What's the full word for that? I think it's yabureru. I think it is. And it's the past tense, so did he break or did he break? Is what she's referring to. 言い直されても意味わかんないです。
ああ、いやごめん忘れて。私も溢れ出る興味のあまりおじさん化した。
So it would seem like Misaki's jumping in the bit, assuming they're in a relationship already, it seems.
よくわかりませんけど、私が機嫌いいのは大好きな美咲先輩と一緒だからではないかと。
いい、そういう答えはいい、求めてないから。
アスカ先輩やまどか先輩、部長、鏡先生も好きです。
And what about Masaya?
今日は何？急にどうしたの？気持ち悪い。そういう占いでもあった？
そういう釣れない美咲先輩もたまりません。
あー、それは最近ちょっと懐かしいノリだけど、昨日までアスカのことを親の敵みたいな目で見てたのに。
True.
そんな目で見るわけないじゃありませんか。
別に証明する気もないけどさ。あと、さっきの好きです枠にマサヤの名前がなかった特別扱いについては？
Yeah.
あの人はメールもろくに読めない原始の人ですから好きじゃありません。あの人はメールもろくに読めない原始の人ですから好きじゃありません。
Okay, yeah.
何をしたのさ、マサヤ。
はい、ではそろそろ練習を始めましょうか。頑張っているアスカ先輩や部長に負けてられません。
部活を辞めたのにこき使われている私のこと、そろそろみんなは再評価してくれてもいいと思うわけよ。
出した具をもらってきましたから、お昼は家庭科室で冷やしうどんにしましょう。麺もおかわりがたくさんあります。
Bribing her now.
絶対に負けられない戦いがここにあるね。
So if I sound a bit out of it, I feel like I might be getting a cold, but it's hard to say. So my voice is a bit off, and there's silence now and then, but perfectly fine.
よろしくお願いします。私は尊敬するアスカ先輩より空を好きになりたい。
I think this is literally referring to the sky in this aspect. Hard to say.
違う。
but yeah. But I'm actually quite interested that I can understand though. I was thinking like it was quite interesting how Masaya isn't personally training Mashiro in this route, but I can understand why they haven't. There's no reason for Masaya to personally train Mashiro. There hasn't been any reasoning behind it in a sense for the personal training. Whereas he can train Asuka, who has more potential and has shown dedication towards flying circus straight from the beginning. Well, obviously as well as Mashiro wanting to train with Misaki from the beginning as well, so.
言ったでしょ、忘れた？その通りにやればできるって。
はい、やってみます。
Is Misaki one of those types of teachers who teach using body expressions or like just says do this, do that? It doesn't properly teach well.
なあ、嘘。いや、嘘じゃないけど、ごめん。うすす分かってんだ。私が教え方あんま上手くないこと。
It's one of those people who it's hard to explain, but they're good at what they do, but they're unable to teach others how they do it.
いいえ、きっと私の勘が悪いだけです。アスカ先輩ならとっくに理解できてると思います。
アスカはまあ規格外だから。
I was expecting a story, but I didn't hear it.
大丈夫です。問題ありません。わかるようになるまで繰り返せばいいだけですから。
There's no sense in comparing yourself to Asuka, Mashiro. You're different people who learn in different ways.
あ、マサヤ。
先輩。
The different reactions. Come on, don't give me that look. The change in attitude between yesterday and today is like night and day. She's apparently upset with me over something. The odd part is I actually ran into her in the club room earlier today before practice, and there was none of this animosity. She probably realized, oh, okay, well, I guess you didn't notice it.
Senpai.
Okay, it's nice we can see this reaction. You can see she's hoping for something, or she's a bit nervous about his answer in a sense. Hey, Mashiro.
ですね。ちょっと。
Okay, I was expecting more there because Japanese doesn't say anything about that. ですね、ちょっと sono is referring to like that thing or about that in a sense. ですね no. It's quite hard to translate but yeah, so let me see. So about that, Choto is more like for a little bit or wait. No, Choto mate is wait a little bit. So Choto is more like a little or no, not really. Because the way she's speaking right now is quite broken up in a sense. It's quite hard to really. You would expect more from it, I guess you could say. That's why I think the English is assuming that it was being said unless she says more now. Okay, yeah, in the English Japanese he's just confused. He's not sure what she's trying to say. But the English obviously is trying to do what they want. Assuming.
読んでいただけたかなって。
Yeah, I did.
そうですよね。
Yeah, she's just saying the first parts. Sometimes I wonder why they add extra things, but okay. Okay, what did it say in English? Okay, I think he just said sure. He's a bit confused. Need something else? Yeah, I was going to say, I immediately knew what would have been better to say. Is there something else? Is there something the matter, or is there something else like Doshita? It's more like, what's wrong? Mada nanika aru no ka? Is there something else?
いえ、ですから読んでどう思われたのかなって。
Like my impression? Not sure what she's looking for here. Well, I accept. I think he's referring to that's her wanting to apologize. Okay, I think I was right.
しかと受け止められましたか。
That was real clever of you, but I figured out what you really meant. Yeah, no, you did not. So I can understand why she's a bit mad. Thank you for telling me that, Mashiro. I'm glad I have people that care about me so much.
私のメールを見てですか。
Well, yeah. Wait, your face is really red, Mashiro. The heat isn't getting to you, is it?
平気です。平気ですから早く続きを。でも聞きたいような聞きたくないような。
Yeah, she's saying like, I want to hear it, but I don't want to hear it at the same time. Is everything alright, Mashiro?
続きを。
Oh, alright. What else am I supposed to say though? I mean, it probably took a lot of courage for you to get that off your chest. I appreciate it.
そんなことこうして言っていただけただけでも十分に報われてますから。
What? I already told you I was accepting.
受け入れるって、じゃあ
Yep, I'll do everything in my power to be a better coach from now on.
先輩、私も大好
So, yeah, it's quite funny with the Japanese one as well. More daisuki. So she was gonna say, I love you as well. I love you. I love you a lot as well, in a sense. Because she's going to say daisuki, dai meaning big or a lot. Daisuki is a lot stronger love than just ski. And with her saying more here, it's referring to her as well. And she's also saying, I also love you too, in a sense.
あれ？
What was that?
いえ、そうじゃなくって、コーチ業？
Yeah, your message. You were trying to tell me I'm not good enough coach, right? Hence the incomplete thank you. I think back on her message. I really do have a lot to learn. It did hurt a bit, but wait, on a second thought, I guess you were just trying to cheer me up, weren't you?
いいえ、あれは本文や開業をわざと不自然にして別のとこを読むという、もう使い古された。
Okay, maybe I was giving the translators a bit too much credit, because unfortunately they were spelling it out in a sense. Maybe, I don't know. Thanks, Mashiro. I'll work harder from here on out.
恥ずかしくて変に頭を使っちゃったのがあだになってる。
Something wrong, Mashiro?
先輩。
Yeah? At least say something. I can't help but wonder why she looks so conflicted right now. If anything, that's the face I should be making, considering the verbal onslaught she's subjected me to. Did I fail to pick up on something, or is it just a random mood swing? I honestly don't know. Maybe if I don't see any changes, I'll bring it up during practice. So, what's going on? All I overheard was something about Asuka being able to understand your explanations when Mashiro can't. They've been pretty fired up during practice today, so I could hear their conversation from a decent distance away.
私ってどうも人に物を教えるのが苦手みたいだ。
Oh, that's understandable. Skill as a skywalker doesn't necessarily translate to skill as a coach.
そうやってナチュラルに持ち上げられても引くだけで復帰しようとか考えないから。
You're reading way too much into my words. She was actually right on the money though. Guess I was being a bit too obvious. Right, so give me a demonstration of what you were doing and I'll see if I can give you any tips. Honestly speaking, I don't think I've ever paid attention to Misaki's coaching habits.
じゃあさっきのをそのまま言うね。もっとガーッと勢いよく降りて。で、ここぞって時にお尻がヒュンってなるから、それを合図にゾワゾワを一気に頭の先っぽで尖らせる。
I would like to say this is quite cliched. Where you see a lot of the strong sports players, I should say, people who are good at doing something and are tasked to try and teach that to somebody else who is not good at it. It's hard for them to do any teaching at all. This can also be referred to teaching schoolwork as well. They'll just explain some random things that seem to make sense in their head, but they're unable to say it in words, I guess you could say.
あとは体を傾ければそっちの方にグリンってターンできるから。 こんな感じダメじゃない？
Yeah, you don't say. That was pure gibberish. I don't know what they say that how they say that in Japanese. I can't read that kanji.
そこまで？
Yeah. You really need to get on her case about that, Mashiro. How will she ever know she has such a fatal defect if nobody tells her anything?
私がボランティアだってこと忘れないでよね。
I'm not even talking about flying circus. You'll definitely have moments in life where you need to explain a concept to someone.
ブー、今を生きる私は今を大事にしてるんだ。
でもアスカ先輩ならきっとわかると思うんです。
I think she just says it up to ya, but yeah, I'm actually quite curious about that. This is actually a good way to swap training partners. Have Asuka be taught by Misaki and have Masaya teach Mashiro. A good way to lead into that. Even if she can, you can't, and that's what matters. Like then, if she can, then simple, swap. Like I just said, you're different people. You don't need to compare yourself to her.
でも
Come here for a sec, Misaki. I want to give you some points on how to coach her better. I'll take you out for udon sometime.
私って今きっと世界で一番けなげで安い女だよね。うどんとなら冷やしだろうと天ぷらだろうとすぐ寝るって噂されちゃってさ。
Let me just see that again in
私
Japanese.
って今きっと世界で一番けなげで安い女だよね。うどんとなら冷やしだろうと天ぷらだろうとすぐ寝るって噂されちゃってさ。
Okay, yeah. I highly doubt that.
先輩、私きっと早くアスカ先輩みたいに上手くなりたいだけなんです。だってそうしなきゃ先輩は私を見てくれないじゃないですか。
おっし、わかった。ちゃんと聞いてきた。完璧。
頼もしいです、美咲先輩。
I think she said she was looking forward to it, but yeah.
そう、動画を撮ってフォームとか比較画像で確認すればよかったんだよ。
ああ、意外とオーソドックスな方法なんですね。
まったくどうして今まで思いつかなかったのか。いや、一度考えたんだけど変な動画サイトに売っちゃいそうだから自重したんだっけ。
美咲先輩、信じてますからね。
それとマサヤお手製の三沢辞典簡易版ももらってきた。
Okay, that's interesting way of going about it.
なんです？その人の名前みたいな辞典は。
Okay, she doesn't say that, but should be fine.
私の言うガーとかグワーを全部日本語に直してくれる。もう昔の私とは違うから。
I'm just curious to see how this goes.
英和辞典とかの美咲先輩言葉から日本語バージョンですか？英和辞典とかの美咲先輩言葉から日本語バージョンですか？
Okay.
例えば私が言うガーをこの辞書で引くでしょ。ほら、もしかして1、重心を下半身に落とし腕の遊びに気をつけて飛ぶ。もしかして2、背筋を伸ばし空気抵抗が最小となる角度を意識する。もしかして3、
それが全部の擬音文あるんですか？
そう、これがグワーンになると、もしかして1、重心を下半身に落とし腕の遊びに気をつけて飛ぶ。もしかして2、背筋を伸ばし空気抵抗が最小となる角度を。あれ、
どこかで聞いたような。
Yeah, it looks like the same entry as number 1.
ていうか、これよく見たら内容全部同じじゃん。手抜き、突貫工事、欠陥辞書だ。
でもこれだけでも言語化できるのってすごいです。よく美咲先輩のことを見てらっしゃるんだろうなって、私には分かりませんでしたから。
I was gonna say, wouldn't it actually make sense that she would understand Misaki more than Masaya would? Mainly because I see Mashiro knows Misaki more than Masaya. But I guess this is different in regards to because it's referring to Flying Circus.
違う。マサヤが見てるのは真白。
私ですか？
よくよく考えたら、私の言ってることを理解してる必要はないもん、これ。真白の修正ポイントを並べておけば当てはまるのは出てくるもん。実際パッと見で私が言いたいこと網羅してあるし、なんか悔しいなー。ギギギ。
先輩が。
私とマサヤで真白に教える練習メニューが違うのも、練習的に地味な基礎をマサヤ、派手な実践を私にした方が私との時間を楽しめるだろうとか、そんな基準だからね。だからこんなことになってんだけどさ。
私のため。
嬉しかったら素直に喜びなよ。別に私の前だからって我慢しなくていいって。
そんな顔してません。
She's saying about how I'm not showing that type of face.
にやけないように口の中で頬の内側噛んでるくせに。
どうしてそれを。
当てずっぽ。ああ、それと
まだ何かあるんですか？
さっき言ってたアスカはアスカ、真白は真白。それは間違いないけどさ、アスカを意識してるってこと自体はいいことだと思うよ。
美咲先輩
ってちょっといい声で美咲の口から真白を褒めてやれってマサヤが。
Now I wonder if she's trying to make it seem like Masaya said that and it's actually her saying it. To try and make Masaya in a better view. Or if this really is what he said. It's hard to say sometimes.
マサヤさん、どうして突然両手で顔を覆ってるんですか？
I just have a headache because of certain someone who likes to ruin everything. Why'd you have to tell her everything, Misaki? Come on. Okay, I guess you did.
私はマサヤさんの口からちゃんと伝えてあげればいいと思います。
So I take it you overheard their conversation then, and you just pretended you had no idea what was going on to fool me.
あれれ？
A cutie smile isn't gonna cut it. But to answer you, I figured it'd have more impact coming from Misaki.
上辺だけの言葉で真白ちゃんが喜ぶでしょうか？
I feel like she said here that if you had said it, she would have been
上辺だけの言葉で真白ちゃんが喜ぶでしょうか？
Doesn't matter as long as it's Misaki. So she loves her. Okay. Sounds a bit weird comparing. I can't remember that. I can't read the kanji, but it's Misaki kara nara. If it's from Misaki. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's from as long as it's from Misaki. I think is what they're trying to say.
確かに喜ぶかも。
Is that Yorokobu? Yeah, Misaki kara nara Yorokobu daro. Should be more than happy as long as it's coming from Misaki. Yeah.
でもマサヤさんからの言葉でも十分受け止めてもらえると思います。
Really? I feel like she just kicked me. You see, I feel like there's still a bit of a disconnect between Masaya and Mashiro in Masaya's view. But this weird interaction between Masaya, Misaki, and Mashiro in this episode has felt a bit odd for me. Because it feels like it's hard for me to really point it out, but it just doesn't feel. It just feels like something's not right. I'm not too sure what it is.
どうしてそうなるんですか?
Yeah, I guess she can be pretty sincere at times. Maybe she wouldn't.
ところでですね。
Here she is saying, ところでですね. So, about that. ところですね. So, it's hard for me to translate, but she's not saying anything about Mashiro-chan. But, speaking of that, in a sense.
さっきから向こうのましろちゃんがまさやさんをじーっと熱い視線で見つめているんですけど。
I really like the onomatopoeia for staring in Japanese, the G sound. I know. I'm just pretending not to notice.
きっとお礼が言いたいんだと思いますよ。
Yeah, that's why I'm not looking. Considering the original plan was for her to never know I told Misaki, being thanked for that is a little awkward.
ましろちゃんの顔がちょっとムッとしてます。
Well, she's probably caught on by now, since you keep throwing glances her way while I don't. It was damned if I did, damned if I didn't. Bado endo is bad end. The English is much shorter. Let's get back to practice.
いいんですか、ましろちゃん。
Practice takes priority. Our joint practice session with Takafuji is creeping up on us. I'm too scared to think about what I have coming for me later. Madoka's been busy recording times we take during practice. I'm looking at those right now. It's been regular work for me lately. I've been adjusting future practice sessions off of what areas I see or don't see improvement. Konna mon ka. Well, that's about it. That's what he's saying. Or that sorts that, or that just about it. Something around those lines. Cool is just... I don't know. I stretched my back after finishing. Yeah, the way he says it... sorry, what was it again? Konna mon ka. With them stretching, that really does sound like I could easily hear that, I guess you could say. Just the cool, and then him stretching his back afterwards just sounds a bit disconnected to me. I don't know, anyway. We're done with practice for the day, and I'm the only one remaining in the club room. I don't think for long. Asuka was the last to leave, and it's already been well over an hour since then. Or she's probably waiting outside. I let everyone go home a little early today. Upon my first step out of the bus, I'm greeted by the humid air, scorching heat, and the painful loud chirping of the cicadas. I think that's how you pronounce it. Well, they call it semi in Japanese. Cicadas, I think is what they pronounce it, but anyway. This summer heat makes the smell of vegetation so strong that I almost choke. Well, let's get out of here. That's when I spot something. Ah. There's a bag of soda-flavored hard candy placed near the door. Arigatou gozaimashita. And I think that's the picture from that Monster Hunter-esque game that Mashiro plays. Along with a note that says thank you. The face of our youngest club member springs into mind. You could have just stayed and shared these with me, you know. I wonder what they said that in Japanese. What was... Okay, soda candy. So what made me think it wasn't soda candy was mainly because there's water droplets on the side of it. So what made me think was maybe it was an ice cream or something that was refrigerated for a while. And what makes me think it even more is this font and this kanji reading at the end here, which I think is kun. So there's a well-known ice cream, I guess you could call it, in Japan called Gari Gari Kun. That makes me feel like it's like this. I'm still not too familiar with katakana, so this is probably kachikochi, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, plop one of them into my mouth. It's refreshingly cold. Kushi ni haite soda candy or okay. Simple, and that's that.
いいよ、ここまで完璧。気合い入れて声出していこう。はい。よし、最後のポイント。下半身が遊ばないように注意して重心を素早く移動させる。はあ。
And was that with a motivational scream by Mashiro will end it off today. It was an interesting episode. Felt a bit off here and there, but overall seems to be going pretty well. Yeah. So it's, I don't know why I feel a bit off. I think I'm just too worried, I guess you could say, because of the weird things that happened during Rika's routes and the bits of disconnection I felt here and there during that route makes me really worried on how they're going to handle Masaya's view of Mashiro. And sometimes I can't even get a grasp on Masaya's personality or the way he is. Sometimes he's quite sharp and sometimes he's not. So far there's been no real... Apart from the time when he promised Mashiro two things regarding Misaki and helping her, there hasn't really been too much in regards to the interaction between each other. The only time was the catting as well, but that was... I wouldn't really equate that to how with Dika and those other moments in Dika's route. It's not the same, how can I say this, power in regards to the attraction, I should say. There's been a lot more subtleness in this route. For both sides, I should say. So I'm just so worried that they'll not have a good moment in the story that will really say this is when Masaya likes Mashiro. I haven't felt that yet, and I'm just worried it's just going to be just a quick shift and then everything will be together, but it just doesn't seem right. But on the other hand, I've really enjoyed Mashiro's development. That's why it feels a bit weird for me. Like, I'm really hoping it connects well, because it's been handled well so far. But yeah, really hard for me to really put it into words, but other than that, I've been enjoying it here and there. The subtleness has been really nice to see for Mashiro. She's been a bit more open now. She's showing it a lot more. Still trying to hide it, but not to... But she understands her own feelings now. Of course, Misaki understands, has seen that she likes him. And I think Asuka does as well, if I recall correctly. Or if not, I'm pretty sure she does see that there's something going on. I think Maruka mentioned it one time as well, but I can't recall. But that's the thing as well, like, everybody seems to notice Mashiro's view on him, but he doesn't see anything at all. But of course, he does have the coaching he needs to focus on, Asuka's training, how trying to get Misaki back into the club, the sudden shift between present and not present again. It's like a lot in his mind, sure. Thing also with Takafuji as well. Well, I'll have to see, I guess. But it looks like Misaki is going better at explaining what needs to be said to Mashiro during training. So Mashiro seems to have improved. But we'll see how that is when it comes to the training camp with Takafuji. Because I'm sure that's going to be happening next, and then after that will be the autumn tournament. Or fall tournament, however you want to say it. But yeah, so far it's been pretty good. Looking forward to seeing how everything will progress. Still hoping for some... Okay, so one thing I'm hoping for next, that just sprung to mind, was I'm really wanting a moment where Mashiro and Masaya really connect in terms of Masaya really seeing Mashiro in a sense, in that way. And one thought that came to mind for me was seeing Mashiro in a... How can I say this? I just had the word and I forgot it again. In a vulnerable state, I guess you could say. The way I picture it is, let's say something happened with Mashiro, she's not happy, she's possibly had tears in her eyes, crouched down somewhere. He comes and sees her in the States, and something happens, I don't know. They talk, something happens, he sees her in a different light. I'm hoping to see that Masaya see the difference in Mashiro. Because I think maybe with Masaya is he sees Mashiro in that the same way he's always seen her. He even says that with Asuka as well, how he can see her kicking him and everything like that one time. So I feel like that's it. I think he needs to see Mashiro in a different view, and that's along with what's happened in a couple of days, have it all connect, and then him realizing. I'm hoping that there's some moment that connects them two. I don't want it just to be a sudden shift, I want it to be a slow, gradual moment between them, I guess you could say. That's what I'm really hoping. The only thing I can hope, I think that this might happen, is after the Takafuji camp. Maybe Mashiro has a tragic defeat, and that brings it up across. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as I mentioned, I'm just worried. Been really enjoying it. And I just don't want it to happen again like with the Rika's roots, where we had such a weird change in personality with Masaya. So yeah, I have to wait and see. Anyway, that'll be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts. I'll see you all next time.